Well, hello there. I'm going to show you how to do my Bonda stitch, and I really like it. It's a nice stitch. It has a lot of texture. You can see the texture coming up here. And if we look at it from the other side, maybe we can see the texture better. You can see that it has a lot of texture to it. It's very easy stitch to do. It does tend to have a tiny bit of curl. So what I've done, and I'm going to give you some tips. So I did a chain cast on, a crocheted chain cast on, and I do have the link on my channel. And then I did one row of knit and one row of purl just to control the end, and the end isn't curling, so that's all I needed for this short, small and thinner project. I'd do a couple more rows for a bigger project, and the same with the side. I'd add more rows of garter, but what I did for the side is I've got two pegs here. On this peg I slip, and on this peg, when I'm going left I purl, and when I go right I knit. So I'm just doing a one peg garter on the side, and that's enough for what I'm doing. But you can see that that's enough. But if you had a larger project, you might want to have more than that. Okay? The stitch itself doesn't have any purls in it. It's just a 2-row stitch, very easy to do. The loom I'm using is a Cindywood 3/4 inch 24 peg loom, and I'm only using, I think it's 11, but let me count, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yep, 11 pegs, and I'm getting this width. Okay, so the yarn I'm using is the bulky yarn, and I love this chunky yarn in the color Saturn's Rings, Hobby Lobby yarn, and it's a bulky, 100% acrylic. So those are the colors that it has. The loom hook I'm using, I got from We Have a Handle on this. It's wood, and then it's painted. They don't make these anymore. You can find some acrylic ones on Etsy that have a similar shape to this. Okay, and I guess that's about it. We'll get started with the stitch. So it's a 2-row stitch. So row 1, and I've already done my end pegs, is twisted owl. Okay, so you do a U-wrap and you knit it off, and you come back over it in an E-wrap. So you do a U-wrap on a peg, come back on the same peg in front and do a U-wrap nice and loose. I've got it going right behind. U-wrap. And you might have a hard time seeing, but we're going to run into another color right away. So I'll do another row with the other color if you have trouble seeing it. Okay, so U-wrap, come back over, or sorry, an E-wrap, come back over in a U-wrap. And you want to keep this nice and loose so it's easy to knit over. Okay, U-wrap, E-wrap, I mean, U-wrap. Okay, I'll call it U-knit so we don't mix up the names. E-wrap, and then U-knit. Okay, E-wrap, U-knit, E-wrap, U-knit. Okay, so we're on this marked peg. We're going to the left. So on the left, I purl. And then I E-wrap the last peg nice and loose, because we got two loops on this peg. We want this side to be loose so it's not smaller pulling in. Okay, we come back this way in a U-wrap, keeping that loose, doing the U-wrap nice and loose, and then we're on to the second row, and the second row is really easy. It's U-wrap or U-knit, whichever way you want to say it, all the way. So I do that nice and loose. I'm just going to U-knit it the entire way. And that's all there is to it. To Bonda stitch, there is one row of U-knit to one row of twisted owl. Very easy. In the round, you're not going to need any purls at all unless you want to put one row of knit and purl in the rim. Okay, if you're making a hat. So here we're going to the right, so we're going to knit nice and loose, do the loose E-wrap, and you can loosen it up to make sure it's loose, and then we're going to the left, so we purl this peg. There we go. I'm going to purl it. And this direction, we do the twisted owl. So I do the E-wrap or E-knit, come back over in, no, it's just E-wrap into the U-knit. Okay, E-wrap, U-knit, E-wrap, U-knit. Starting to get more color on here, but still not enough, hey, to really make it clear. E-wrap, U-knit, E-wrap, U-knit, E-wrap, U-knit. And you can really start going quite fast when you get used to doing this. E-wrap, U-knit. I'm going to the left, so I'm going to purl this one. Keeping it loose, and I'm going to E-wrap this nice and loose. Making sure it's loose. Going to come back over now in a U-knit, and then I'm going to U-knit all the way down. And we're going to the right, so this is going to be a U-knit. And I'm doing this one nice and loose, coming over, E-wrapping it, and coming back and doing a purl. Okay, we're finally starting to get some color. Took longer than I thought to get here. Okay, so I get a little bit closer here. I want to make sure you can see it with the white yarn with the white peg. So I'm going to E-wrap it, come back over the same peg, and U-knit it. Okay, E-wrap it, come back over the same peg and U-knit it. E-wrap it, come back over the same peg and U-knit it. E-wrap it, come back over the same peg and U-knit it. E-wrap it, come back over the same peg and U-knit it. E-wrap it, come back over the same peg and U-knit it. E-wrap it, come back over the same peg and U-knit it. Come over to this peg, we're going to the left, so we are going to do a purl. But if you don't do this side, of course you'll be doing it different, but this is all I needed to do for the project I have planned. Put some yarn here. There we go. Okay, so U-wrap, and then, or E-wrap, slip. We're going over this one to the right, so we're going to U-wrap it, and we're going to U-wrap or U-knit all the way down. Boy, I'm just getting my words mixed up a bit today, but it's U-wrap all the way down for this row, and this row will be always going to the left. And I finally got some color here, so you should be able to see it a little bit better. And here I'm going to the right, so I'm going to U-knit it. Then I'm going to E-wrap this last one, slip it to come over and do a purl. And now you'll be able to see this stitch with some color a lot easier. Okay, So I'm going to E-wrap the peg for this row, come back over it, and U-wrap it. Okay, E-wrap the peg, come back over it, U-wrap, E-wrap the peg, come back over it, knit it over, E-wrap the peg, come back over it, knit it over, E-wrap the peg, come back over it, knit it over, E-wrap the peg, come back over it, knit it over, you wrap it, you knit it. We're going left, so we purl, we do an E-wrap, go directly over to do a reverse U-wrap, and we're ready to start the next row. And I'm always U-wrapping to the right, doing the E-wrap owl to the left. You can reverse it if you want, and you can do the E-wrap owl going this way and the U-knit going this way, as long as you're consistent all the way. Now it has a tendency to lean a bit to one side, so what you're going to want to do if you're making a big project is it depends, you'll have to have a look at it and see, but about every 8 rows or so I would do one extra row of U-wrap. Then you'll be changing directions, so make a note, and that will straighten it out. Okay, so but for a small project like I'm doing, it's going to be straight when I'm done. So okay, or if I wanted to use the curve, I would. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and you can see what the stitch looks like. It almost has a kind of rib looking here. It's just a ridge, I mean. It's just really nice texture. There you can see the texture. And if you look quite closely in here, you can see the stitch. It has a kind of shape to it, see? Here, 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 here. Really pretty stitch. Okay, so bye for now.